It has been a very interesting, I would say, 2 weeks. And I know that I've been talking about like a lot of different things in these videos over the course of these 2 weeks. And it just continues to expand because as I learn about myself, as I learn about my growth, my own personal evolution and everything, and continue to do the work for myself and heal, set boundaries, get better with communication, recognize themes, recognize dynamics, elements, all of that kind of stuff. It changes everything for me. My life is forever changed moving forward. And it's so interesting because like there's a recognition of like a rest in peace of the past, but there's also like a need to reference the past to make a very healthy and productive move forward. And it's so fucking exciting to just be here and to see how things are going and everything. Um, just recognizing first and foremost that on a daily basis, I wake up in a state of utmost peace and stillness. And just complete calm. And I used to wake up the exact opposite way, right? So it's like, yeah, the work has been done, and of course, it is required to remain consistent for that to remain consistent, right? And this is the other thing too. Like at this point in my life where I'm at, like I have structure. I have morning and nighttime routines, and then between those parts of the day, doing the best that I can to remain disciplined in everything to get done everything that I want to get done. Um, Something that I struggled to do growing up was kind of delay gratification. And because of that, I very oftentimes just gave into the easy thing, right? You can call these things defense mechanisms, right? Whether you're trying to negate pain or whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to do, you are like not being present with what is, right? If you have the inability to be present with what is, right? It says a lot about your upbringing, right? It says a lot about all that stuff, but it also you're missing out on so much in life. Like the other day when I had that experience where like I was just reaching this threshold of overwhelm and I just accepted it all and I was present and then it all just changed and then the suffering took a back seat and me just being present and aware with everything was just so fucking gnarly. It was so cool. Um, and just like continuing to have those experiences. Something else that I've learned recently is that I have for a very long time been very overstimulated. And that can be a very big challenge for your vibration and attracting because when your energy is scattered, it's scattered and it's all over the place. It's all the way over there, it's all the way over there, it's chaotic, right? But that is, of course, a result of overstimulation, as I'm now coming to learn, um, is a it's like it's a reflection, it's a mirror of being raised in chaos, right? We seek what we're familiar with. And if we're not familiar with what it is that happened to us early on, like it we're all regardless of what our awareness is, like where our awareness is and what it is that we understand, we are always seeking on what it is that we're always seeking based on what it is that we're familiar with. That's first and foremost. Secondly, if we're unaware of what it is that we experienced growing up, we're just going to have a very hard time dealing with our stuff. Um, but yeah, it's so interesting to be here and to watch everything unfold and to like actually like make like conscious. Like I'm at a point now in my life where like I'm looking at like what I'm doing and it's like, oh shit, I wasn't doing this 2 years ago. I wasn't even doing this 2 months ago. Things are different now. I'm openly, consistently, and clearly communicating, right? Prior to that, I learned a belief that my wants and needs weren't fucking important. So if you learn a belief that your wants and needs are not important, you're not going to communicate them, right? What's the point? They're not important. You might as well not even bother. So I'm looking back at everything and it's like, oh, never mind. They were never actually not important. I just learned a belief that was based on fucking noise. But they are important. And so therefore there is a need to communicate them because if I don't communicate them and they are not fulfilled, I'm going to be unfulfilled. What's the opposite of fulfillment? Unfulfillment. I believe at least. So that's the thing. Like whatever it is that you want, you have to create, I would argue, like an exchange of energy for, right? Like so like if what you want are happy, healthy, and successful relationships, you need to vibrate there. And what does it mean to vibrate there? When I say vibrate, of course, I mean in terms of energy and frequency and all that stuff. You have to have consistent, clear, and open communication. You have to follow through with doing what it is that you say you're going to do. And that's the other thing, too, that I'm learning about myself, is that I've struggled in the past to show up for myself. I know exactly why that is. I'm not going to get into any of those logistics in this video, boundaries. But, like, I look at my own self, and it's like, okay, well, at one point, you've got to get really tired of not showing up for yourself. So one of the ways that you can go about doing that to like heal that pattern, you could say, is make one small promise to yourself, right? But not only that, making one small promise to yourself is very important, but not only that, but also just like, one, do what you say you're going to do, or two, do not make the promise that you're going to do something. If you can't do it, just don't, right? And that's the other thing too, because when you are raised in an environment of chaos, right? Shit is just fucking all over the place. So you tend to learn to be like a people pleaser and codependent and all that stuff, and just kind of get conditioned into that lifestyle. But not only that, but another reason why some people have a very hard time following through with things is not because they can't do it. It's because they say yes to too many things and too many people at once, right? You can't be in two different locations at the same time. as of today, as of right now. I don't know what the fuck that's going to mean in the future, but as of right now, you can't be in two different locations at once, right? So therefore, like, if you can't do it, don't do it. But people would do it to people please, right? They would do it because they want people to like them. They want that validation. Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? That's just one person. Another person doing the same exact thing. Their awareness is being pulled in so many different directions. Of course they're not going to follow through with doing some things. They probably forget that they ever said yes to some things, So, one, taking so much more space to myself than I ever have before. Two, do for myself first. One of my things moving forward, one of my absolute standards, one of my absolute principal standards moving forward is doing for myself first every single day. Regardless of what anybody else wants and needs. Doing for myself first every single day. People are going to call that selfish. It's not selfish. It's called just doing for yourself. It's called putting yourself first. And you need to do that before you can help anybody else. But, there's that, and then like what I can do for other people, I do for them. If I can't do it, I don't do it, and I don't feel bad about not doing it. I don't feel guilty or ashamed of myself because I'm responsible for my life, and what I can do for other people, and what I agree to do, I'm responsible for. That's it. So many people, they get overwhelmed because they feel like they can't do enough for everyone else, right? But most people can't even do enough for themselves. Like, they need to stop doing so much for other people, and they just need to do for themselves. That will change the dynamics of their lives. It's so interesting to kind of like see how my life is evolving as a result of the direction that it's taking, and like, the healing that I'm doing, the work that I'm doing. I'm actually stopping myself in situations now, putting my hand on my chest, like right where my heart is, and just in conversation with people. Specifically one person. And just being like, I need to regulate, right? This is very simple. We are going to attract exactly what we are. Not what we want. You don't attract what you want. You can want a great fucking relationship all that you want. Doesn't mean you're going to attract it. You have to be that energy. That's how that it works.